Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rangers Ed 150. It was a good day, 7 days in the show last week, but with the exception of a few rogue teams, the standings are all but leveled out to where many people anticipated them to be in the preseason. Out west in the Pacific Division, Vegas still sits atop the standings at 13-4-0. Jack Eichel has found a home in Vegas with 10 goals and 10 assists through 17 games with his new squad, but Vegas has dropped their last two, losing to the Sharks 5-2 on Wednesday night and dropping one to St. Louis 3-2 on Saturday. The Kings are 5 points back of Vegas in second place, and the biggest surprise in this division so far has undoubtedly been the Seattle Kraken, who are holding on to third place over the Oilers and Flames. Despite their hot start, however, the Kraken have had a relatively weak schedule to date, so look for them to taper off a bit as the season progresses and they get into some more quality opponents on a more consistent basis. In the Central Division, Dallas is still holding on to that number one spot ahead of the Jets and Avalanche, but the race has tightened significantly over the last week. Dallas got off to an extremely hot start, but has since posted a 5-4-1 record through their last 10, which has allowed the Jets to creep within 1 point of first place. The Avs have also shaken off their early season struggles and have crept up into third place. Outside of the top three teams, this division has largely not showed up yet, and we're waiting on teams like Minnesota and St. Louis in particular to really get the ball rolling and put some games down in that win column. Back east in the Atlantic Division, with the exception of the Bruins sitting in first place, this division is mostly where we expected it to be in the preseason. Boston is currently sitting in first, followed by Toronto, Florida, and Tampa. Boston has found their secondary scoring after it was essentially non-existent for the past 5 years and are leading the league with 65 goals this season. They're also once again one of the best defensive teams, having surrendered a league-leading 35 goals, which makes them a very difficult team to play against. Toronto has also picked up their play significantly, and after an abysmal start, they're sitting at 6-2 through their last 8, including a big win over Boston that really got the train rolling for them. Bad news for Toronto, however, as Jake Muzzin was placed on long-term injured reserve with expectations that he is done for the season and potentially his career with a cervical spine injury. Tampa is sitting in fourth place and have really struggled so far this year on the defensive end. They've given up 53 goals against and currently are sitting at a +1 goal differential, which is not a recipe for success in the Atlantic Division with the current level of competition between the top four teams. Finally, Florida is starting to look like the Panthers teams we've seen through the last 3 to 4 years. There's a good tendy battle happening between Sergei Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight, with both guys off to fantastic starts competing for that number one job. Matthew Tkachuk is also finding his rhythm finally in Florida, putting up 5 goals and 15 assists through 14 games and leading the league in offensive zone takeaways, averaging 11 per game. While Gustav Forling and Braden Montour have also stepped up on the defensive end in lieu of Mackenzie Weegar moving to the Flames in the offseason and Aaron Ekblad's month-long stint on injured reserve. Finally, in the Metro Division, the biggest surprise of the year continues to be the New Jersey Devils, who are currently riding a 10-game win streak. New Jersey currently sits third in the league in goals for with 39, behind Colorado and Boston, who are tied for third in goals for with 60. The Devils have built a strong defensive core around Jack Hughes with guys like Dougie Hamilton, Ryan Graves, and John Marino, and Vitek Vanecek seems to have found a home in New Jersey with 8 wins through 10 starts. The Islanders have also rebounded significantly from last season and sit in second place at 11-6-0 ahead of the Canes and Rangers. Philadelphia has cooled off after their hot start, and Washington is still waiting for the injury bug to pass to get their top guys back on the ice. Finally, Pittsburgh still can't buy a win, and Columbus is throwing for draft picks next season, sitting at 5-9-1. We have some exciting hockey coming up this week, so stay tuned for more updates next week. This has been your 150.